All right. So the question that Faisal had asked me, that is there any difference between a parameter and a filter? Does anybody wants to take a shot at it? Like, what do you think can be or is a difference between filter and a parameter?
Filter changes the value of a parameter, and the parameter itself says the dimension or a measure kind thing.
Yes. So in simple terms, Faisal, if you think about it, when you're applying a filter, how many dimensions are you using?
Just one.
Just one. And what you're doing is you're just filtering based on the items or the values of that particular dimension. But over here, you could see that in parameter, we are working with multiple dimensions and multiple measures, which your filters are not able to do together, right?
Yes.
So it's more like a, that's the main difference. That filter is one particular dimension that you're picking or one particular measure that you're picking and you're applying filtering on the values of that particular value and it's changing my visual. Versus in parameters, it could be dimensions, it could be measures that we are working with and not one, multiple could be there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
All right. I can think more filters are only on one worksheet. No. Why? Why on only one worksheet? I think we did this one, right? They can be on multiple worksheets, not just one worksheet.
If you are applying particular filter, that's for only one worksheet, right? And then,
But then parameter also you can apply on. No, like
parameter
for
we have
example,
said the top n is a parameter which we applied on another worksheet as well. But when you apply filter, let's say country in this worksheet,
I can
we can
remember. Yeah, remember we did this thing. Apply to worksheets. I can apply to any number of worksheets.
Okay.
So I can, because imagine, let's say I've got 3-4 charts. So I can't have 3-4 filters of country controlling one of each. So one filter can affect 3-4 visuals at the same time, just like a parameter.
So one filter, if country is there, that can be affected all the three worksheets, whatever we have already used.
Absolutely, yes. We can select the worksheets.
Yeah.
No, that would look, see, right now we are just looking at one visual at a time, but think from a dashboard point of view.
Yes.
You guys have done Power BI. So over there, we had one single slicer, which affected everything. Okay, so now imagine if that slicer we had to put for each individual visual, that would look bad and tedious. So that's the same concept over here also. A filter or parameter can be applied on all the visuals possible, not just one.
Can be, or is it always the case?
As in?
So yesterday what happened is I created a 2 sheet having the same parameter in both of the sheet. But when I delete the one parameter in one of the sheet, it got deleted from everywhere.
So parameters are not sheet specific. The parameters we are creating are not sheet specific. So if I open a new worksheet, parameters are still sitting here.
Yes.
Groups, parameters, sets that we create, calculated fields that we create, these are going to be there for the data set. It is not sheet to sheet that it's varying.
Okay.
Okay, so they are available in other sheets throughout the workbook.
So with that being said, can one extra parameter be there in one sheet and
all sheets will see, you have to understand the elements are there in all the sheets. Now whether you're using it or not, it depends on you, right? On the visual that you're creating. But the elements would be there. Like a top N is sitting over here in parameter field, but I'm not using it, so it's not getting used. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So it will be there, but it depends on the user whether they want to use it or not.
Correct, correct. But like if you create a calculated field for one particular visual, it doesn't mean that the other sheets won't have that calculated field. Other sheets will have the same calculated field, but are you using it in that visual or not? That again differs.
Got it, Ishani.
All right. Now, what is context filter, Shikhar? Let me take you back in Excel. Sorry, my whole world is Excel. I learn everything around Excel. I relate things when I have worked in Excel. So that's why you will see me referring to Excel a lot. just to give you a context of how this thing's working. For example, this is a data set, right? Now, I asked you, do you know what is filtering in Excel and do you know top 10? I don't know if you guys have done auto filters. I don't think so. I have done it with you. But do you know auto filters top 10? So in auto filter, there is a feature called top 10.
Yes.
Right? Now, when I do, when I say top 10, it gives me the 10 values, the top 10 values, whatever they are, right? Now I'll make a small change. I'll say, okay, let me find the top 10 of Toyota cars. Okay. And now I want to find top 10. So in filter, top 10 and this. Did I get top 10?
No.
I got 3,
Yes.
right? And it's not that 10 cars are not there. More than 10 cars are there. Correct? 455 Toyota cars are there. So why were we not able to pick the top 10? Again, why did it not happen is because the way any top 10 works across multiple tools that I've seen, their main issue is that it does not work on filtered data. It works on all the entire data set. Okay, so over here, there are only 3 Toyotas. So that's why when we filtered for Toyota and the top 10, what did I see? I saw these 3 Toyotas because these 3 Toyota exist in top 10. Shikha, clear? So far, so good?
Yes, Shashani.
Right? Now, same thing is happening in Tableau. If I remove this context, I've removed the context. Now, if I say top 5, which country's top 5 is it looking at? All. Right, Shikhar? It's looking at all. It is not specific to a country that it's going to give us top 5. Now, when I click on China, it is going to give me 1. Why? Because out of the top 5, which is for all the countries, one of the state is in China. Right? If I go to Australia, I'll find 4. Because the first 4, 5 are there only. Okay, 2. And if I go to India, there are 2 over there. So total 5, 2 in Australia, 2 in India, 2 in China. Now, if you pick any other country, you will get a blank. So that what it means that it is doing top 5, but it is not considering the country that we are picking. It is doing top 5 based on all the data set. And that's what happened over here also. Now, if I want to find the top 5 for a particular country, then I need to make sure that the country is taken into context, means it is considered before the next filter is applied. So in Excel, we have to copy paste our data and paste it and then apply top 5. Over here, it's relatively easy. We just say that add this field to context, means before you apply the top end filter, this filter is to be considered first. So if I click on Australia, what is Tableau doing in the back end? First picking all the states of only Australia now, and then applying the top 5. Okay, so it's almost like if I had to do the same thing in Excel, it's like I first pick the data related to Toyota. Once I've got the data related to Toyota, then I'm going ahead and applying top 10 on sales. Now I'll get the top 10 sales of Toyota cars. So this process that I've done in Excel is context filters in Tableau. I hope it's clear now.
Shani, do we get to choose different filters while doing a context filter?
What do you mean by that?
So basically, I have attached 3 parameters in order to get a certain data, and I want first and the last parameter to be in context.
Parameters are not in context, your fields are in context. Your dimensions
yes,
that you
okay.
have in filters are in context, not the parameters. I put in context to filter the field in filter.
Yes. So
if you're asking the question, can I have more than one context to filter? Yes, you can.
but can I skip 1 out of 3.
Yes, you just have to pick and click on it, right? So you can click on all, you click on one, or you click on two, doesn't matter. It's not a linear thing that you have to do it, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go back and three more type of parameter we'll talk about. One is for binning. So for example, let's say if I wanted to create how many orders were there in various sales bracket. So what we can do is we can create bins out of sales. We can go to create and create a bin. Remember binning? And let's say the highest is 3, minimum is 3, maximum is 7,000. I create a bin of, let's say, 1,000 and I click OK. So sales bin is there. I drop this and then I can drop the order quantity, sorry, order ID, and do a count on order quantity. Something like this is coming up. This is clear to everyone, right? How we are getting this output? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, Ishan.
Remember, right? All of you remember this part.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Right. So now, again, what is a bin size? Bin size is 1,000. Now, if I want to change this bin size, like for example, over here, we are looking at, okay, there was 0 to 1,000. There is a total order ID of 10,151. So I want to further reduce it because this is not giving me any information. I want to further reduce it to, let's say, 500 and see, okay, in 500 bin, what's going on? So what we can do is we can either manually go over here and click on edit, go to the 500 one and change it, or we can again opt for parameter. So just like in filter, you had an option of creating parameter from within the filter. Over here also we have that option. So create a new parameter. We are taking it as 1,000 as a current value. It's a range. Let me make it as let's say 500 is a minimum I want to go, maximum I want to go is 2,000, and step size is 100, something like that. And we click OK, and we click OK. And now my sales win parameter is there. So I am going to show the parameter. And since we worked with it within the binning, it's already connected. So when I reduce this, see, it is changing and I can increase it or I can decrease it. So I can see even with 0 to 100, maximum order IDs are there, 4,927. Yeah, so we can introduce the parameters in our binning also. Questions? Just try it very quickly to introduce a parameter within the bin. So you can, if you have the previous file and the visual, then you can do it in that same file. Otherwise, quickly we can do this sales bin and putting the value over here.
I want to ask, you have create a parameter in the bin.
Yes,
What is the maximum size you have put?
I've put 2,000.
Okay. And step size is 100, right?
100, yes.
Done, Ishani.
All right.
Ishan, in size of the bin, what we have to take?
Your step size is 100.
Yes, step size is 100.
Ishani, what initial bin size have you taken?
Let me know who all are done. Virendra done. Sitish done. Ankita done. Tanu done.
Shani, can you do the steps again?
Sanjeet, Ashish, Amit, Girish,
Shani done.
Ishani, I want you to do
Lalit.
this again.
Naveen, Manoj, Pratibha done. Rakesh, Saikat.
Ishani, can you go ahead with the steps once more? Are you able to hear us?
I think, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible to me.
Okay, I think Ishani.
Mine is the same request.
We continue, guys.
Shani, can you please repeat the step? Everyone want to that.
You want to write? Don't worry
No,
about
no, no,
writing.
no. Repeat the step. Everyone want to see once again.
Everyone.
I have
Yes,
done. I
yes.
have done, but all are saying that you haven't listened them.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to put the headphones. It
Right,
seems
right.
the headphone did
They are
not get
saying.
connected.
They are saying. That's why I'm repeating them.
Let them say. Don't worry.
Okay, okay.
I'll do it. So this is what a sales bin parameter will look like. But how did I reach this first? Is let me get rid of it. All right. So initially, let's say what we did initially was we wanted to create bins in sales. So how do we create bins in sales? Click create bin. This everybody remembers? Yes. Now the
Yes.
bin size and all those things, it would be more data specific and project specific of how you have seen the data, what are the better or the what do you call appropriate bin sizes. But typically your starter point can be the min and max over here, right? So I've taken 1000 as the size of the bin. Oh, sorry. So over here, what I did it manually. I said 1000 is the size of the bin. So I fixed it. So if I wanted to create a parameter with it, so I'm going to go back and instead of saying 1000, I said create a new parameter. Now this parameter is taking the control of the sales bin, right? So minimum, what do I want to show as a value? I want to show let's 100. So the last size will be 0 to 100 and maximum would be 0 to 2000. I don't want to bin more than that because as it is the maximum value was 7000. So minimum bin sizes to 100 means 0 to 100 is the minimum range that we work with and maximum is 0 to 2000 that we work with. And the
But
step size we have taken as 500. Yes.
but in my current value is showing different 1000.
That's okay. Over here, current
Yeah,
value, when you
right,
click
right.
on it, it will change. That's okay. You can decide what your current value. I can decide, okay, 1000 is my current value.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And how the display can be, you can also decide that. If you want to show it as a percentage, because I think one of the case study I'll work, I would want a percentage. So we can change the format as well. Okay, display format and all, and click OK. Once we're done with this, then the parameter has been created. We can show the parameter and then we can work with it. Clear? Any questions?
Let me try.
Ishani,
Yes.
Ishani, can you explain this chart?
Can I explain this chart? Yes. So I wanted to understand that how many orders. So for example, if you look at the data source, there is order ID, right? And each order ID is associated to a sales value,
Yes.
right? So I wanted to understand how many order IDs or how many counts of transaction, not really order ID, but how many counts of transactions are there where the sales value lies between a certain range. So how many transactions are there between 0 to 600?
Okay.
There is 9,300. So what does it reflect? So if I keep on, going down, even with 0 to 100, it's showing 4,927. So people have the tendency to buy below 100 items from the website or from the whatever the business is.
Okay. Now got
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, guys, can we proceed?
Yes, Isha.
All right. Ashish, Faisal, can we proceed? Shikhar?
Yes, Ishani, okay to proceed.
All right. Now, next thing is when we can work with a date range. So, if I wanted to understand day-wise sales, how should I create it? The visual for understanding the day-wise sales. What should
Order
I
date
drop?
and sales.
I need the order date and sales. Simple, right? Order date and sales. And order date, if I want date-wise, this year will be converted into a day. And then I can convert it into a line chart, and this is how my line chart would be looking as. Hold on. Something like this. Meaningful or no?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? No, this has no meaning. And even if I wanted to understand the trend of the sales within two specific dates, looking at all the dates all together doesn't really help. So what if we give the end user the facility to pick a date range, and based on what date range he or she is picking, only that particular sales data will show up. Got it? So in this scenario, how many parameters do I need?
Sorry,
How many-
Shani, I missed that
Yeah,
part.
Sunny?
So basically what I'm saying is this is daily sales of all the dates. But we are not going to get any useful output from this visual. So what if I want to give a user a facility in which the user can decide from which date to which date he or she wants to look at the sale, and only that particular sale should show up over here. So in order to achieve this, how many parameters do I need? How many parameters do I need?
Shani, could you please repeat the question?
What happened? Am I
Your audio
audible?
is also very less.
My audio is less. Audio is less.
Now it's fine.
Your voice is coming very low. Now is it coming fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So what again? I'll repeat. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So what I wanted to ask you was, this is showing me the visual for all the dates. Now, if I want the person, the user, to be able to pick 2 dates, right? Or pick a range of date and say, okay, I want to see the sales in within this range. Then how many parameters are required?
2 parameter.
2 parameters, correct? One is start
One
date
is issue.
Start
One
date
is
and
end.
end date.
and end date. Very good. Start date and end date. So sometimes in order to make the data type and everything, fixed, what you can also do, you can also create parameters from the dimension itself. So I can go to the order date, click over here, create parameter, and over here I can name it as start date. The date data type is date. Current value, it's taking as 1/1/2011. Now this I'm going to make it as all, not a list, not a range, because when I make it as all, it comes up like a calendar, and you can easily go and pick your dates from there. And I click OK. So start date has been created. Now I want to create another parameter and exactly the same. So in this case, what we'll do, we'll just duplicate it. And I can edit the name. I'm going to call it end date. And I'm just going to move 2-3 dates up. Let's say 4th and OK. Now, once this is done, what's my next step?
Show the parameters.
Show the parameters. So create, show, and then do something in order to include as a part of the visual. So I have created, I've shown. Now, how do you think we can include this parameter and change the visual?
Context.
Not context. There's no filtering.
No, we have to drop it, I believe.
Parameters cannot be dropped in your visuals. So how did we do it yesterday?
We linked it.
Through what did we create in order to link it?
Field.
Calculated field. Very good, Sanjeev. So we need calculated fields to do it. Now I want to create a field in such a way that it is able to identify the dates which is lying between the start date and end date. Can you think of what can I write in this field? How can I ensure that the order date being picked up lies between these 2 dates?
Between
Using between sections.
Between, so we don't have. We can try, but I don't think so. We have no. What would you do in Excel? Excel also doesn't have between.
if condition we can put.
If with what? How do you check between in Excel that whether a value lies between this value and this value? The answer lies in the question.
Then greater than.
By what? No.
There is a filter in which greater than, less than.
And very nice, Ashish. And simple, right? So order date is greater than equal to the start date. In the end, checking 2 conditions between, and order date is less than equal to the end date. What kind of output will this calculation give me?
This will give you,
Sum of sale.
No.
they'll
Count,
give you
count of
dates.
No.
Selection criteria.
No. This will give me Boolean value, true or false. And gives you what? And gives you only true and false. Nothing else it can
Yeah.
give, right?
Yes.
It will only give us true and false. So that's what it is creating. It's creating a Boolean field of true and false. So now what should we do in order to get only these values? Now that we have created field, identify what order date it falls under. Now what should we do? So over here in this field, it is true if it lies between that range, and if it's false if it does not lie within that range. So how do I utilize this? Where should I drop it?
In filters.
Yes, in filters. And what do we want? Only true. That's it. Right? So if I change this, let's say till 12th I need, I'll get that. If you want to change this filter, let's say from January, let's say 4th I want, I can now easily change it. All right, let's revise the step. So the question was that I wanted to create two parameters in order to give the start date and the end date. And why we wanted that? If a person had to select a specific date within a date range. So for that, two parameters created, start and end. Show the parameters in order to figure out which are the order dates which lie between start and end. We use the AND function. When we use the AND function, the output that it typically gives is true or false. If both the conditions are true, it gives me true. If any one condition is true, it will give me false. And now what I want to do, all the values which are true, I want to display them. So that I'm putting in filters and I'm saying only want to look at the true values. Okay, let's try to implement this. Sanjeev, you have a question?
Yes, Ishani. So while creating the parameter for start date and end date, the date is not necessary to put.
The data type
specific-
has to be date. The
Yes,
data
but-
type has to be date. Otherwise, this calendars won't be created.
Yeah, that I understand. But
Uh-huh.
you have put 1/1/2012. So can we choose any of the dates or?
Yeah, for the current date, you can pick any, but you have to be careful. You know what happens if you create a parameter just like, hold on, let's say we create a parameter like this. And I said, yes, this has a date, data type also I give date. And what it does, it picks the current date, like today's date.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you put everything and you have dropped it and you show the filter, most of the time you forget this is 2021. And when you're trying to work with it, you're stuck in this year of 2022. My data is 2011.
Yes,
so that's the
yes.
reason over here I first went to the dimension and then I created it instead of doing over here.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Done is all.
All right. So over here you can. It's not that you can't change these years. I can, but it's like extra work, right? To make them 1/1 and change this April to something else. So that's the reason. All right. I heard few people saying done. Let me know if others are done. Shweta done. Sekar done. Ankita done. Done because you followed the step is one thing and you understood the step is another thing.
Understood as well, Ishani. And
Okay.
rest you will know in a test.
No, I'm thinking for tomorrow, I might just give you a simple series of questions to work with where you have to figure out all these things that you've learned till now.
Yes, yes, please.
So that will make me also understand whether the concept is clear or not. So tomorrow I might just keep it as a practice session. No
Yes.
new learning.
Ishani, in date parameter part, we have to create the parameter. In parameter, do we have to take the current value?
Not the current value. Where my data is not current, right? So it depends on what data you're working on. I have 2011 data set that I've given to you. So it has to be based on the data that we have.
So it will be all or list. We have
All.
to select all.
All. Why all? Because in list you have to give the values. Now for date, it doesn't make sense to give 4 or 5 values, right?
Okay.
Correct. And range, again, I don't want to restrict it. Let the calendar be there. Put it all. It opens the calendar and you're able to use it.
Ishani, once can you please show calculated field for now on
So
screen?
for the date range,
Yes.
Ishani, do we have to take the step size also?
no, there is no step size because there is no range involved. I picked all. You don't want to fix a step size, right? You can't say just you can increment by 1 at a time. So that's why we picked all.
Done, Ishani.
All right. Tanu, what about you? Lalit, Prasad, Maheshwar, Mohammed Vikar, Sitaram also done. Already done. Suman,
Ishani,
Sunil,
just a minute.
yes,
I'm just joining.
sure. Vivek, Tarun, done. All right. We have one last use case of the parameter in sorting. Arun also done.
Ishani, one question. You have taken this date range in filter, right? And
Date range filters.
yes, and it is not show, like you have not clicked on show filter also. Then how did you choose this true value in that?
No, when you drop any field in filters,
It will ask.
it asks,
Yes.
right? So
Okay,
it
that
asks
time you have
automatically. Yes, that time I picked true.
only true. Okay, good. Else we can do other way also, right?
In this case, putting it as show filter doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because why I want him to go outside the range? That is a lot of data set, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's why.
Oh.
So Ishani, how did you make this date range?
Date range through the calculated field.
Over.
This one, order date is greater than start date and order date less than end date.
So on which you have created or
Calculated field. Calculated field you don't have to
Okay.
create, right?
Okay.
This one.
From directly from there.
All right, let's try to understand why we might need sorting. So let's say we have got our subcategories and we have sales and we have quantity and we create charts. Now, tell me one thing, when you first opened Tableau and when you first created the visual in Tableau, was it very intuitive to you to where to go and sort the data? Was it intuitive that yes, I'll click here, there is an icon, I can click and do a sorting?
When we hover around that
When you
level,
hover on it.
yeah.
When you hover and then you recognize this icon only, then you know it's a sorting thing, correct?
Yes.
So now if I have two charts like that, so if somebody says, okay, which subcategory had the highest quantity, I can do this and it comes as shares, binders, storage, labels. And if someone says, okay, what about sales? So then I have to manually again go and click over here. And like I said, this part is not very intuitive for the end user point of view. For you guys who are working on data day in and day out, working on the software, this is okay. But not for the end user. End user experience is bad if I have to sort like that. So for sorting also, we can create parameter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a parameter called sort by. And this is going to be what data type? So I can ask the user, do you want to sort by sales or you want to sort by quantity? So this is which data type?
Integer.
Integer.
Are you working with the value of sales and quantity or you're using the words sales and quantity?
And string.
Like then a string. Then a string, right? And why a string? Think about what is the end result we are going to create out of this parameter. So I'm saying sort by and I want to give my user an output of sales and quantity. So what is this? This is a list. It's a
Yes.
drop down list.
There is no
Right?
calculation.
And what will be in the list? The word sales, the word quantity. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So that's why it is going to be a string data type and we are going to make it a list. And over here we are going to type in sales. And over here we are going to type in quantity. And okay. Right? Next step, like always, right click, show parameters. This is done. So over here we have sales and quantity. And once this is done, then we have to link it. Now, what are we sorting? Which field are we sorting?
We are sorting quantity.
We are sorting not the quantity. What are we sorting?
Sales.
Category based on quantity.
Subcategories which have the most of the quantity.
1 second. Sorry, guys. Right. So what are we sorting? We are not sorting quantity. We are not sorting sales. We are sorting subcategory based on quantity and sales. So over here, when you come and click on the drop down, we will go to the sorting tool. By default, it is at nested. It is at descending, and based on what it is doing based on sales because that's what I had clicked here on previously. And if I would have, sorted based on the quantity like over here, and then I went to subcategory, and if I went to sort, now you will see it is doing it based on the quantity. So you understand that the sorting is done on the subcategory, but is based on the field of either sales or quantity. Correct?
Yes.
Right? Now, do I have a field which is connected to my parameter? Do I have any field over here which is connected to my parameter?
No.
You have to create one.
We don't, we have to create it. So we'll create
Yes.
a calculated field. And let's say this is sorting field. Now, what should I write over here in the calculation? That it returns either sales or it returns the quantity based on what is the value in the parameter. So what kind of calculation can I write here?
A sources
If, right?
Yeah.
So if
Right.
function, it's a condition checking, right? If this is this, then give this. If this is this, then give this. Now I'll introduce one more structure to you called IIF, which is ifs only, but it's very similar to Excel and not very similar to what we did in VBA. It has very similar structure as Excel. It has got a test, value true, value false. What is my test? My test is that sort by, which is my parameter. If this is equal to sales, what do I want to return? What do I want to return? If it is equal to sales, what should I return?
Sales.
Sales. Only
Sales.
Arshad is learning. Sales, right? Else?
Quantity.
Else
Else quantity.
You guys are tired today. You guys look tired today to me. It is sales or it is quantity, right? And then we click OK. Once this sorting field is ready, then we'll go back to our subcategory. We'll go to sort. And over here, I will say it is done based on a field. Descending order, field name is sorting field, the one that we've created, and cross it off. Don't cancel at the bottom, cross it off. Now, if it's sales, then you will see this. If it's quantity, you will see this. All right, try to do it. Step number 1, create parameter. Step number 2, show the parameter. Step number 3, integrate it in the visual through a calculated field. And then you work with the sorting. Do it, guys.
So Ishani, option is already there in Tableau. It's just that we are trying to create that in filters.
When you talk about dashboarding, dashboarding is all about a very good user interface and user experience. Okay, so that's the reason we are doing sorting in this fashion.
Ishani, please show the calculated field.
Yes, please.
And where to put the sorting field?
So once you've created this, you will go to the subcategory and then sort. And within the sort, we will say we are going to sort by a field descending and the name of the field.
Done, Ishan.
All right. So I've got 3 people who are done, waiting for others.
Already told done.
Yeah, you, Ankita, and Arshad. But right now, you guys are doing with me. That's why you're able to do it so fast, Shweta and Ankita.
Yes, that's the point. We have to remember a lot. Right? We have to keep track of little things. That
Yes.
even in
Don't
Power
worry.
BI, in Power BI also I felt like that. We were able to do everything, but when it comes to remember, it takes time.
It becomes difficult.
And that's
Yes.
why I wanted to tell that please, like, it's not necessary, but some of the assignments helps a lot.
Yeah, so that's the reason I'm thinking tomorrow is going to be just hands-on, because right now I'm doing bits and pieces. You guys are perfectly copying me well. But even I would like to know how much you can apply it on your own, because that's what is going to help you in work. And all these things, don't worry about it. All these steps, I know it's very difficult to remember these steps. So just wanted to show to you, and I'll share this PPT with you guys. Joining. I know I still owe Kshitij a PPT, but this one is there, so at least I'll share this. Over here, you know, the way we did blending with the screenshot, I have created everything. Okay, so this should help you a lot. I've got the screenshots and everything, and I pasted. And same thing I have done with the what do you call it? Dual axis, table calculations, bins, how to create a bin, and parameters. Same process I've done for the parameters. I've given you exactly step by step how to create a parameter, where to go, how to create it, what kind of all the case, when, and everything that we used, how it is created, everything I've given over here. And step to use a parameter. So you should not have like sorting that we did, how we creating it, all the top end we created, everything is here. So don't worry, got you covered on this thing. All the calculations and everything is there. Okay, I'll share this PPT with you guys. Context filter, what is it, what it does, or everything is there. So tomorrow, like I said, I think tomorrow might be a good day to not touch any new topic, because I know I've covered a lot. We have covered filters, we have covered parameters, we have covered relationship, joins, union, blending. So tomorrow, let's just keep a day to implement parts of it. Let's say one parameter, one filter, little bit of joining or something will be there, and we do our work. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is practice.
It's just practice. I'll pick a case study.
Yes.
And I'm there. It's not that I'm not there. It's not an assessment or an assignment, but it's just, I see, one thing is understanding something in theory. Something is that, okay, if I have a data set, like you guys are working professionals, you will be getting business problems. You have to convert those business problems into something, a business solution. So we should have a habit of looking at the data in that way, and to be able to understand, okay, what is the best way to approach it. So I won't even have a dashboard tomorrow, or I won't have a screenshot saying, create this for me. I would say, okay, this is the business problem, this is the data, and these are my objectives of the business. How do I work on it? That is what we're going to do tomorrow. Sounds good to everyone? So don't take a lot of pressure for tomorrow, but tomorrow is more of practically looking at the usage of these tools. Like in Power BI, I took a dashboard and we said start to end, we'll finish that. Okay, over here, there are too many things to teach in Tableau. So I cannot really connect everything in one case study. But tomorrow, we will try to mix it and work on it.
Yes, Ishani.
So I would say don't miss the class, even though we are not starting any new topic, but I'm sure it will be a fruitful session for all of us.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, Ishani.
All right, perfect. So any questions? Anybody needs help? And the PPT I'll upload full. Don't try to go ahead of what I'm teaching. Only do the PPT till I've told you. But I'm uploading the entire PPT in one shot.
Ishani, in the date sorting, can you please show how you have linked it?
In which sorting?
Dates, date, range.
or date range. Yes. What about this?
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I had done
Ishan, could you
the
please repeat?
sorting field. How to connect it?
The
The
sorting
date.
field is not connected here.
No. Yeah.
Sorting I did on
No, I
the
think just a
subcategory.
moment.
Ishani, I was stuck here at the order date parameter. I have created parameter and this is.
You have a confusion in order date parameter.
Yes.
Date range. No.
Yeah,
Order date
this.
parameter, date range.
Yes, I think so.
This calculation. Let me do one thing.
Can I show you my
Anybody, yeah,
screen?
that's what I was about to say. Anyone who wants to leave can leave. We are done for today. Tomorrow, remember, it's only a hands-on session. I'm not going to teach anything new. We just want to make sure we're able to put everything together and apply it in our work. Very, very important part of it. And others can leave. Those who wants to stay back, and I want to help them out. So you can. Sanjeet, let's share your screen. So Shikhar, after Sanjeet, you can show your screen so that I know exactly what you're asking. Okay. All right. So where is this date range? Did you create a calculated field called date range? Or how are you using the start and end? Go up,
Yes, I had made
go
one.
up. Up. Order date range. So you see there's a custom, yeah, drop it in filters.
Okay.
And we want the value which is true. Click OK. And that's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Shikhar, you want to share your screen?
Yes, Ishan. Ishani, I was stuck here.
So first of all, you've not created the parameters only. So you can order date parameter or just edit it. Let me see what is this. Edit. So it is date, this automatic call. Okay, don't call it order date parameter. Call it start date and end date because there are two date parameters, right? And both are on order date. So how will you differentiate? Start date and okay. Click OK. Duplicate it. Right click on it. Start date parameter. Not this one. This is sales bin. This is sales bin. Read the name. Read the name. The position has changed. Yes. Duplicate it. And rename this thing. Rename it and say end date parameter. Okay. All right. Now show parameter.
Which parameter I have to show?
Both. You have to show both. A person is going to pick start and end both. So you'll have to show both. Bye, Kshitij. All right. Now we are going to create a calculated field to include this parameter, right? And I call it as date range. And what is the formula that we want? We want the formula that I want the dates where the order date, so put order date, where the order date is greater than equal to the start date, right? And give some space between start in this, yes. And order date is less than equal to the end date because we are trying to find the date between these two dates. Order date. You have to write it again. The whole logical test has to be written. Delete this also. Order date. You have to write order date once again. No, we have to always give the logical list both the sides.
Okay.
Is less than equal to end.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. End date parameter. And that's it. Click on OK. We are ready. Drop it in the filters.
Date range I have to drop.
Yes. And make it true. And
Now,
done. Okay. Now, what you have dropped is only the sales and that's it. So drop order date also in your visual. So double click on order date. Down, down. Yes, double click on it. And convert from year to day. The second one. Second. The one below. Yes.
day.
Yes. Now you're getting one dot. Why? Because your start and end date is the same. So go to the parameter of end date. No, not over here, on the right side, on the right side. You see, the dates are same. That's why one dot, right?
Right side where?
Right, where you show the parameters and the filters, where your cursor is, right, more right. Yes. So change the date in the end date. Because right now you're saying, show me the data from 1st Jan to 1st Jan. So it's only one data point. Click on 4 or something, any number greater than 1. Now you're getting the 4 points.
Okay.
Understood?
But Ishani, in your case, it's showing the calendar also.
It is showing in your case also. Click on the white area next to 4.1. That's how you picked it, right? Click. Yeah, click here.
Okay. Got it.
Right.
Bye, Shani.
All right.
Ishani, can you show your binning parameter? Just I had
Sure.
deleted my sheet.
Thank you, Ishani.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Shikha. Thank you. Binning parameter. This one. So
Yes, I'm just creating
sales
one.
bin and edit. This one.
I had made it, but I don't know how. I had just delete my sheet. So I just dropped those things again.
Okay.
It's count of what I did. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Arshad, you had a question?
No, Shani.
All right. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Shani.
Shani.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Shani.
Bye.